Hello, crafty friends. Welcome. Thank you for joining me, and Happy New Year. My name is Melissa Miller. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southern California, and today I want to make a shaker card using our new Gumball Greetings. Now this card is super cute. We've got two hidden messages. We've got our gumballs in here, but if you tilt it, you can see the hidden message, I choose you. And then we've also got another hidden message here underneath the little flap where your gumball would come out that says heart you, love you. So that's super cute. Today, I will show you this stamp set. It's called Gumball Greetings, and it is in our mini catalog, which starts January 4th. I can't show you the inside yet, and I will not have any of these items linked yet. But as soon as I can on January 4th, I will link all the items that I used here. And this is our Gumball Greetings stamp set. We've got the base for our gumball machine. We've got the glass there. We've got the topper. We've got some great sentiments. May your day be filled with all the best things. Wishing you the sweetest day ever. I choose you. Happy Valentine's Day. And then we've got our gumball machine dies. Now these dies are great. You've got your base. You've got another piece that goes on your base as an accent. We've got our gumball shaker dome part here that cuts out the area for that. Then we've got all our accent pieces. And what I did was I purchased the stamp set, the dies, my little frosted beads for the inside of our shaker dome and my shaker domes. And then I got, let me show you this first. You get 10 in a pack, and those just are perfect. So what I did was I purchased the stamp set, the dies, my domes, and my little beads, and I got to choose an item out of our Celebration catalog, which also starts January 4th. So for every $50 you spend, you can get a free item. And that is not just limited to our mini catalog. You can also purchase out of the annual catalog and receive a free item. So let me show you the paper we got here. This is our Simply Marvelous Designer Series paper. And we've got it in several colors. There's yellow, pink, purple, kind of an aqua. We've got our gray and then our blue. And then if you flip it over, it's got like this kind of silk. It reminds me of a silk shirt. It could be like this one could be used for water, but it still reminds me of silk. We've got it in our gray, all the same colors on the other side. So it is double-sided. The piece that we are going to be using today is the pink one. And we actually are going to be using a lot of items today. I got out my adhesive sheets. I am using my adhesive sheets for all my little pieces, and I'll show you that in just a minute. We also are going to be using some paper from our new, sorry, I should have had this a little more organized. This is the Heart and Home Designer Series paper, and this is also in our new catalog. There's quite a few really cute sheets of paper in here. We've got this one with the bees on it, and you get 2 sheets of each in here. We're kind of stuck there. There we go. You've got the bees. We've got this floral pattern. We've got another kind of pattern on there, and then we've got the flowers. Now, there are more, but I did use up the back of them for my cards here, because on the back of each of these is a different wood grain pattern, which is really cool, which is what we're going to be using today. So let me get that out of the way. I've got everything all set up here. I've got my little pieces. Now my little tiny pieces here, I did use the adhesive sheets. Now here's that little one. That's that little booger that's in the die set. Be careful not to lose that, because I dropped it and I was on the ground for probably 10 minutes trying to find that. So these are our little pieces. I used our red foil for some of them, and then I used the silver foil for my accent pieces. I cut out this one with my silver foil, And then with my red foil, I cut out my base. And I also put adhesive on the back of this piece. We're going to lay that on there when we get to it. But let's do our stamping first. So I've got my card base. And I've got my wood grain piece here, and then my real red layering piece. My wood grain piece is 3 3/4 by 5. My red is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then my card base, of course, is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I've already got my Stamparatus all set up. So let's do our stamping first. So we will be bringing in our wood grain piece, and I cut it so that it has a little bit of a bottom edge there with the lines for the wood grain. Let's get that in there. And today I'm using my Stampin' Spot. It is just so much easier on these smaller sentiments than using a full-size ink pad. So that's what we'll be doing, using our ink spot here. Let's do another inking up of this stamp real quick. Perfect. And I used my Stamparatus because I decided to go ahead and make 10 of these cards since I have 10 shaker domes. So let's get that wiped off. We've got that piece all stamped. And then our piece from the Simply Marvelous paper, I cut at 2 1/2 by 3. I've already got my sentiment in there. We will go ahead and ink that up. And I'm not sure if anybody knows this or not, but you can purchase uninked ink spots, and then you can use our re-inkers and make your own ink pads. It's just nice to have the little tiny ink pads sometimes, the little spots. All right, so we've got that one inked up. And then I'm not going to show you how I did this little tiny piece here. I just took a strip and I did a whole bunch of the heart U, so I would have those ready. Now here's our next plate here. Now I like to stamp my envelopes. I don't always show that, but I do like to stamp my envelopes. So I went ahead and I got this all ready in here. I've got the Gumball machine on there and the Be Mine, and we're also going to ink that up. I just love this set. This set is so cute. I already know who I'm going to hand these cards out to. I can't wait for Valentine's Day. These are so cute. Actually, that looks pretty good. We really don't even need to re-stamp that. Perfect. So there's my envelope, and then I can put the person's name on it. And then let's go ahead and do our inside of the card. Here's our card base. Let's put that in there. And I do need to wipe this off just so it doesn't get on my card base. I probably should have done, you know what, let's take it off just to be safe. I probably should have done the inside of the card first. All right, so let's do this. We've got our sentiment, wishing you the sweetest day ever. And I kind of wanted to show you also how I do this to get my sentiments nice and perfectly straight. But let's do this first. There we go. So what I did was, let me show you. I went to my local craft store, and in the sewing department, I found these plastic grid sheets, and I just cut it to fit my Stamparatus, and I can put my sentiment on my plate here and stamp it on that plastic sheet just to make sure that it's perfectly straight. And if it's not, I can adjust it over here and then re-stamp it. And then this just wipes right off. So you can always reuse these. And I'm just going to take a little bit of my Stampin' Mist, clean that off of there, and it's good to go, ready to use for the next time. So that's how I get my sentiments lined up nice and straight. Okay, so where should we start first? Let's go ahead and do this. What I did here was I got my piece the correct size, and I went ahead and I measured it out how I wanted it. And I just made sure that I had the same width on each side, and I cut it out. And then I'm using this as my kind of as my grid, and I'm just going to make sure that's lined up. There is a correct bottom size here. The bottom is a little bit longer than the top, so always make sure that that longer piece is at the bottom, and then you can just slip it in there, run that through your die cut machine, and it'll be perfect placement each time. I just take a little piece of washi tape or something, hold that in there, run it through, and you're good. Now I've got one that's already been cut, so we will be using this one. But first, let's put together our gumball machine. I've got all my pieces. You can see which ones I did in the silver foil and the red foil. I need my little pick here to help me lift these up. So let's start with our base. We've got adhesive sheet on the back of here. So we will just peel that off. And we're just going to place that on there. And you can center it by looking at the piece that kind of lifts up. So you'll know how to center it. Just give that a little bit of pressure so that adhesive sticks. And we've got that piece done. Then we'll go ahead and work on our top here. We've got a little piece that goes on the bottom of our lid. I also used adhesive on this. Oops. Let's go ahead and put that right there. And this is pretty simple. It just takes a little bit longer than a regular card with just stamping. Make sure that's on there good. And then we've got our little booger here that was such a small little die. We had to put adhesive on that because I didn't want to use glue. We can get our backing off of that. Then we'll put that on the top here. Just like that. And that just adds so much detail to it. It is so cute. And there's our little lid. Then for our centerpiece that goes on here, I die cut this one in the red foil, also with adhesive sheets. And we'll just stick that on there. Good. And then we can actually take this. I did not put adhesive on the back of this, but we can take our glue and we can add glue on the back of that. That might be a little bit too much glue, but we're going to go with it. Get those corners. And then we'll just add our piece right here. And you can center it. You've got lots of things to go off of for aligning it perfectly. Just bring that up a little bit. Put a little pressure on there. And that's good. So we've got all our pieces ready. Oh, we didn't do this piece. We've got our little accent piece for the bottom of the machine. I also used adhesive sheets on that. And that just fits right down here perfectly. There we go. Perfect. And there is our gumball machine all ready to be assembled. But first, we want to add our little heart you, our little love you. I am not going to put glue on the front of this. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put glue on the back of the gumball base. And I'm just going to put a little bit, and then I'm going to line this up. I'm going to kind of lift up the flap and see exactly where I want to put that. And then I'll just lay it down, and that's perfect. You can see that's in there, just like that. So now we want to take one of our shaker domes, and we are going to peel the front part off. Take that front part off because we are going to attach that to our piece of Designer Series paper here. And you want the shorter part up at the top. Now I'm going to hope I don't get my head in here. Bring that down just a little bit. And we're just going to line that up right like that. Perfect. All right, so we've got our shaker dome on there. Now we will bring in our piece that says, I choose you. And what I did here, now these are retired. I used my Resin Hearts Embellishments, but I have a whole extra pack that hasn't been opened yet that I would like to give away. So anybody that comments, I will do a drawing on January, let's see, on January 16th. And I will give one of these away. So you can also add these to your gumball machines. We're just going to take a couple and we're going to scatter them inside just to give a little bit more detail for our shaker card there. Just throw a few of these in there. That should be good. One more white one. We're going to put that down here. And then we are going to bring in our beads. Now, be careful with your beads. I did drop a couple. I'm going to step on them. I know I am. And I have a feeling they're going to be worse than Legos. But that's okay. So just kind of get these in there. You want to make sure that you have enough that it covers that sentiment. So it's a hidden message. Just get those placed in there. A couple good, little scoops ought to do it. I think maybe one more. Perfect. And we're going to kind of move them up off of the sentiment a little bit so we can see where we place that shaker dome. There we go. Now we can take this. We will peel the second piece of release paper off of the back. We had one on the front and one on the back. And then we're just going to kind of eyeball it. Hopefully I don't get my head in here. And put this right there underneath your sentiment. Get it nice and centered. Perfect. And then you can press all that down. And there you go. Now we've got our hidden message again. But if you turn it up, you can see it. Isn't that just cute? I just love this. Okay, so now we can add this to our real red card base. And I'm just using my Tombow adhesive here. So don't forget to comment. You want to be entered into that drawing for the pack of retired Resin Hearts. So let's add this on there. And then because we used the liquid adhesive, we can just kind of nudge it a little bit. So that's perfect. All right. Now we will add our gumball machine. And this is so cute. I just love this. Put a little bit of glue on here. I already know who I'm going to give this card to. Well, I'm making 10 of them, but I know the first person that is going to get one. I have a couple little friends around the neighborhood, so I will be handing these out to them. Just get that centered on there. Give it a little bit of pressure just to get that glue set. Then we will add our top of our gumball machine. A little bit of glue on there. Perfect. Get it nice and centered. Hopefully I'm not getting my head in there. Good. All right, now let's add this to our card base. Now we've already stamped our card base, so we're just going to add this on there with some glue. And again, I cannot link to these items yet, but on January 4th, I will put links to purchase these items in the description. Let's get this on there. Nice and centered. Perfect. Oh, I just love this. I love the red and then the wood grain. That is just so pretty. All right, so now it's time to add a couple more of our resin hearts. And this time I am just going to use the red because the white would get washed out. So let's just add a couple of our little hearts here. Turn that just a little bit of an angle. Perfect. Add a couple more. Oops. It flipped on me, but that's okay. There we go. And then another one up at the top. And we are done. Isn't that cute? I just love this card. Hidden message, I choose you. Then we've got our little heart you, love you. We've got our sentiment on the inside. We did our envelope. Now these do fit in our envelopes, but I would suggest putting it in a padded envelope if you're going to mail it. Otherwise, just hand deliver it. So it does fit in our standard envelopes, which is wonderful. And that's it for me today. Please don't forget to comment. We'll do a random drawing for a set of Resin Heart Embellishments. Thank you so much. Let me know what you thought of this card. Have a great day. Bye-bye.